Hello students, this is Nitin Muhur, and here through this video we are going to learn the branch instructions in 8051 microcontroller. So branch instructions, normally we have seen that the program execution takes place serially. That is, the first instruction is executed first, then the second instruction, then comes the third, then comes the fourth, up to the last instruction of the program. And this is happening since program counter is the register which holds the address of next instruction to be executed. So this program counter gets incremented by 1 as some instruction is executed, and the process continues till the last instruction of the program. In branch instruction, the order of program execution changes, and this is what the specialty of the branch instructions. Accordingly, there are two types of branch instructions in 8051 microcontroller. And what are those? The type 1 is unconditional jump instructions, and type 2 is conditional jump instructions. From the name itself, their idea is clear, but we are going to see it in details. Unconditional jump instructions. On execution of such instructions, the control jumps to a new location without meeting any condition, that is unconditionally. While in conditional jump instructions, the control jumps to the new location only if the specified condition is met. Otherwise, the program execution goes normally with the next instruction and continues. The first branch instruction which we are going to see is AJMP target address. This is called as absolute jump. It transfers the program execution to the target address unconditionally. So this belongs to the unconditional branch instruction group. Here in this instruction, the new value for the program counter is obtained by replacing the least significant byte, that is lower byte of program counter, with the second byte of the AJMP instruction, and replacing bit 0 to 2, that is 0, 1 and 2 of the most significant byte, that is upper byte of PC, with 3 bits which indicates the page of byte following AJMP instruction. Bits 3 to 7 of the most significant byte of program counter remain unchanged here. Target address, which is written over here, should be within the 2 kilobytes of program memory. Then moving on to the LJMP 16-bit address and SJMP 8-bit address. This is the long jump instruction and this is the short jump instruction, and here the address bit provided are 16-bit while here it is 8-bit. So first we will see the long jump instruction. It jumps to any location, means control jumps to any location within 64 kilobytes code space, and this is because 16-bit address, and it is having range from 0000H to FFFFH of 8051. It is an on-chip ROM space used to store programs or opcodes, you can say. While here in short jump instructions, here the second byte, that is 8-bit address which is mentioned here, is a signed number displacement which will be added to the program counter of the instruction following this SJMP to get the new address or target address. Then moving on to DJNZ byte target. So the meaning of this instruction is decrement this byte by 1, and if the result is not 0, then jump to target address. We will see one example here. Count from 1 to 13 and send count to port 1. So we will have to count from 1 to 13, and when the counting is complete, then send count to P1. So first we will do the accumulator clearing, means clear accumulator. This instruction we have used for clearing the contents of accumulator. So accumulator is initialized as 0. Means all 0 bits will be there in an accumulator. Then move R2 hash 13. The meaning of this is that 13 is here a decimal number, and that will be loaded into R2, and this 13 will be treated as a counter which is required to count from 1 to 13. Now here back is written. This is actually the label. This back and this back is the label, and this is forming a loop. So now the loop starts here. So loop's first instruction is INCA, that is increment the contents of accumulator. So initially we have cleared accumulator, so accumulator contents were 0. So after incrementing, A will be equal to A plus 1, that is now accumulator will have value 1 after execution of this instruction. Then move P1 A, so the accumulator content, that is 1, will be brought into port 1. Then the instruction comes DJNZ R2, that is decrement and jump if not 0. Decrement this R2. Now R2's contents were 13, so we'll have to decrement it by 1, so now it will be 12. But it is not 0, so therefore we'll have to go to the target address, that is back, so we'll come again here. Again INCA will be there. So now value of accumulator is not 0, now it is 1, because we have already gone through the loop one time. So now it is 1. So after incrementing it, it will be 1 plus 1, 2. Now accumulator value will be 2. Then after this instruction, 2 will be brought from accumulator to port 1. Thereafter again the R2 will be decremented and seen whether it is 0 or not. So it was 12, so now it will be 11. Still it is not 0, so again due to this back or the address, we are coming here, and again this loop will be continued. This loop will be continued till R2 becomes 0. When R2 becomes 0, then we will come out of this loop and the next instruction will be executed. Then comes JB bit target. The meaning is jump to a target address if the bit is set, or JNB bit target. So jump to a target address if bit is not set, or bit is reset, or bit is 0, you can say. Now here example is given. Monitor bit P1.3, that is the third bit of port 1, continuously, and when it is low, send 55H to P2. See, this is the question given and we are writing the program for it. The program is like this. So here first we have set the bit P1.3 by using this instruction. So SETB P1.3, this will set the port 1's third bit. So third bit of port 1 will be made 1 here. Then here the label here comes, and it will be the loop like this, where the instruction is JB. JB means jump to a target if bit set, that is if this bit 1.3 is 1, then be here only in the loop, right? And when this will be turned to 0, what we'll have to do? We'll have to send 55H to P2. So when it will be 0, we will come out of this loop, and here the 55H data will be moved to port 2. So this is how the program is written for such type of examples. Then JBC bit target. The meaning is jump if bit is set and thereafter clear the bit. Then jump if carry. Where to jump? Jump to the target address. So jump to the target address if the carry is generated. Similarly here, jump to the target address if the carry is not generated. Jump if no carry. Then jump to a target if the accumulator contents are 0. And here JNZ target means jump to a target address if accumulator contents are not equal to 0. Then RET, that is return instruction, that is return from the target address. This type of instruction generally occur in a subroutine, means the main program is there and by the side of it one small program is written which is called as the subroutine program, and in the main program somewhere it is called. So from main program we move on to the subroutine, we execute the different instructions in subroutine, and the last instruction of subroutine is return from where we reach to the same place where from we came actually. So this is the way where the return instruction works, and it is generally used in a subroutine programs as the last instruction. Then RLA and RRA. So rotate left the accumulator. The meaning is very simple, which will be clear from this example. So here move A hash 69H. So data 69H will be moved to A. We have shown here 69H data in 8-bit binary. So 4-bit for 6 and 4-bit for 9. Now the instruction RLA, how it works, we are going to see. So the instruction RLA, which is rotate left the accumulator. So we are moving this data in accumulator towards left. Left means the leftmost bit will be now the rightmost bit, and the rightmost bit will move one position towards left. So the new data which we will get will be 1101 and 001 and this 0. After which once again we have used the same instruction RLA. Again this one, the leftmost one, will be brought to the rightmost bit, and therefore the new data will be 1010, then 010 and this 1. So this is the change. These are the changes actually which we will observe after execution of RLA instruction. Now moving to RRA, which is exactly opposite to RLA. Here we were moving the bit towards left. Here we are going to move the bits towards right. So first we will take this example as move A hash 66H. So 6 in hexadecimal 4-bit binary and 6 in 4-bit binary we are shown here. Now after RRA, the data in accumulator will be moved to right, means the rightmost 0 or rightmost bit will be brought as a leftmost bit. So here we will get this 0011 and 0011. This data will be the next data in accumulator after execution of RRA. Again we are executing the same instruction RRA. Again the data here, the rightmost bit 1 will be now the leftmost bit. So the new data will be 1001 and then 1001. So this is the new data we will get. Then moving on to RLCA and RRCA. So here we are rotating the contents of accumulator left, but it will be done through carry. So C stands for carry here. So rotate accumulator left through carry. Similarly, rotate accumulator right through carry. So here clear C. So we have clear the carry bit. So carry equal to 0. Then move A hash 99H. So here this 9 and this 9. This will be the entire data which will be brought into accumulator. Now RLCA. So here rotate accumulator left through carry. So this accumulator data 1001 and 1001, this will be moved to left through carry. So the leftmost bit of accumulator will be now carry. Carry bit will come here, and the data which we will get will be like this. Here we will get in A 0011, then 0010, and the carry bit will be changed from 0 to 1. So we will get this data. Again we are applying the same instruction here, or executing the same instruction, and now this time the data is this one and carry is 1. So now this leftmost bit, which is 0, this goes to carry, so carry will be 0, and the carry bit which was 1, that will come here. So we will get the data available will be 0110, then 010, and this carry bit 1. So this is the new data available. Exactly same type of instruction, only instead of moving the data in accumulator towards left, we are here moving the data towards right. So see here, set bit carry, that is we are making carry equal to 1 here, and now we are moving data 99H to accumulator. So 9 means 1001 and 9 means 1001. The data will be moved to accumulator. Then RRCA, so here rotate accumulator right through carry. So here now we are not we are moving the data from right side. So here the new data which we will get will be like this. See here, this was the initial data. Now this is this data rightmost bit 1, which will move to carry, and this carry will come here. So 1100 1100 will be the new data, and this one will move to carry position. So carry will remain 1, there will be no change. Again the same instruction is executed, and after executing the same instruction, what we will get, this carry will come here. So 1110 0110, and this 0 becomes the carry bit, so carry will be 0. The last instruction of this video of the branch instruction is swap A, which swaps the nibble within the accumulator. Now accumulator is 8-bit, so it contains 8-bit data. So in the 8-bit, if we consider the lower 4-bit and upper 4-bit, so those 4 bits are called as the nibble, lower nibble and upper nibble. So here move A #59H is the instruction, because of which what happens, this 59 will be loaded into accumulator. Now 59 means 0101 and 1001. So this is 59H. Here 0101 together, this 4-bit combination is called as nibble, that is upper nibble, and this is the lower nibble. So after swap A, this instruction, the nibbles will be swapped. Means here what will happen, this nibble will come to this side and this nibble will come to this side. So therefore, instead of 59, you will get the result 95. So I hope the idea about the branch instructions, the different branch instruction within this group of instructions, the rotate instructions, rotating data through carry, the instructions associated with it, and the swap instructions are clear to you. Thank you.